Hi everybody, welcome back to Aloe. Pardon the sunglasses, but as you can see, we're outside today. Just thought I'd take a stroll around the neighborhood and just talk about anxiety. The reason for that is there seems to be a misconception about being anxious versus having anxiety. So I thought I'd try to clear that up a little bit. The reason being is last year, less than a year ago actually, I came home from work, worked nights, and came home from work in the morning, started feeling kind of weird, kind of like I was gonna faint. My heart felt funny. I really did not feel good. I was trying to relax, trying to calm down, and couldn't do it. So I actually had my wife take me to the hospital. Ended up that week going to the hospital 3 times in 1 week. The first time I went, they hooked me up to some heart monitors and stuff and said I had something called PVC, which isn't the plastic, polyvinyl chloride. It's premature ventricular contractions, which means my heart will kind of skip a beat and then try to catch up. So the first time, that's what they concluded was my problem, and they sent me back home. So the problem persisted, and I had some more things pop up. I couldn't sleep. I had a lot of tingling sensation in my extremities. What else? There was just a lot of stuff. I just felt horrible. So I had to go back to the hospital a couple more times that week. And each time they would say there's really nothing they could find aside from those little skipped heartbeats, which they said wasn't really anything to worry about. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, I would say, I was having trouble sleeping. Out of 13 days, I slept more than 2 hours only 3 days, and that was only by using medication. I would have to take some sort of either a sleeping pill, or I have allergy pills that actually cause drowsiness, so I would take those just to be able to sleep. And some of those days where I couldn't sleep was even with that sleeping medication. Nothing would help. So the tingling got worse, the sleeplessness got worse. I constantly felt like it was difficult to breathe. My chest and my abdomen were really tight. So even if I was able to breathe, it just felt like I wasn't able to get enough oxygen. So needless to say, this kind of scared the crap out of me. So, and after going to the doctor and the hospital several times, like I said, with no sort of real diagnosis, I started just Googling it myself. Pardon me if these turns are making you guys kind of dizzy. I'm just kind of wandering around. I don't normally do this around my neighborhood. Anyway, I just started Googling things, Googling the symptoms, watching other people's YouTube videos, and that's when I found out what I had was actually anxiety, not just being anxious. And I'll tell you what the difference is. Being anxious, you can be anxious just sitting in traffic. If you're in a hurry to get to where you want to go, or let's say you are having a package delivered and you're really excited, you can be anxious about that package being delivered. That's a temporary feeling. Sorry, it's kind of windy. Hopefully this isn't coming across the mic too much. But being anxious is a feeling, whereas having anxiety is a condition. And apparently it's something that can kind of pop up spontaneously, because I haven't had a problem with anxiety in the past. I have obviously been anxious. Everybody's anxious now and then. But anxiety pretty much doesn't go away. Like I said, it was 2 weeks of almost not sleeping. I lost 10 or 15 pounds in the course of that 2 weeks because I also couldn't eat. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. Stomach's always upset, you have trouble breathing. It's just, I had listed at the time, I listed all of the different conditions that I was feeling, and I had come up with 24 different symptoms that I was feeling that were all attributed to anxiety. So if you felt like I was feel like I was feeling, if you can't sleep, you've got upset stomach, so you can't eat, you've got tingling feeling in your extremities, like your arms and your legs, hands and feet, and I think also another symptom, which I didn't have as much, but if you feel too hot or too cold, if it's the middle of summer and you're hot, that's explainable, obviously. But if you are unreasonably hot or cold, that's another condition, or another symptom of the condition, rather. And for me anyway, this is not something that's going away. Like I said, it's been a little less than a year now, and I still keep having flare-ups. If I don't do something right, if I do something I know I'm not supposed to do, it pops back up. Luckily, I've been able to manage it to the point where I'm not having episodes like that where it lasts for 2 weeks at a time or more. I really thought that one of those times I went to the hospital, I might not be coming back. I didn't really at that time know what the problem was. When you are hit with that many different symptoms at once and nobody seems to have an explanation, it's pretty scary. Since then, I've seen a psychiatrist, and obviously, like I said, I've done a lot of Googling. Not always the best way to find out what your problem is. You can go down a pretty scary road just by trying to Google symptoms of whatever. But everything that I've heard and read supposedly says that although the symptoms that you experience due to anxiety can be very scary, they claim that it's not anything that's life-threatening. So it might feel like you're going to die, but apparently you're not going to, thankfully. So I'm going to do maybe a few more of these little walk and talks, or maybe I'll just do the other ones from the house, but I'll go over what I'm doing to try to help me. There's obviously the prescription route. I was trying to avoid prescriptions. I don't want to be stuck on anti-anxieties or antidepressants or any of that garbage for the rest of my life or for any extended period of time, because obviously those things have their own side effects, which you might not like either. I did actually start taking something that my doctor had prescribed, and I don't know if it was just a coincidence, but the night that I took the prescription for the first time, my symptoms actually got worse. So again, I don't know if that was a coincidence or maybe that prescription wasn't for me. Anyway, like I said, I'll do some other videos, talk about some of the things that I'm doing, some things to avoid if you are having anxiety and you need to avoid the triggers. I didn't want to make this video too long by going into a whole bunch of different stuff all at once. So I think I'll cut this one off for now, and I'll do another one. Maybe next week I'll continue this little mini series on anxiety for anybody who is experiencing what I experienced and really hasn't found what the heck the problem is, or is looking for a possible solution, something to ease the symptoms that you're experiencing, which again are very scary if you're going through them and you don't know what's going on. So I will be back again hopefully next week. I hope everyone has a great day. Take care, and we'll see you next time.